Up and Adam show, Deebo Samuel. He's like one of us, stars. They're just like us, just kicking back, watching the games, watching all of the wild card action this week, and we'll get set for that with him. Very excited to have Deebo on the show. He's got a big birthday next week. Which team does he want for his birthday in the divisional round? We'll get into all of it. And we also have, oh my gosh, Joe Thomas, Hall of Famer. We got Cleveland. He never played in a playoff game. Now he's got his team. What does it mean for Myles Garrett? What does it mean for the city of Cleveland? And he's coming to us from Germany or something. We got a lot to get into on today's show. Not just wild card weekend. It is super wild card weekend. That's what we're getting. We got the playoff matchup set. The regular season is behind us. We're going to give away some Niners awards with our friend Deebo Samuel. You know, we should add to those awards like his favorite opponent, his favorite, like somebody if you could draft onto the Niners from an opponent. Who should it be? Maybe that's a good award we can add there. If you guys have anything you want me to ask Deebo, we're doing it on the fly here on a Tuesday. Let us know at Up and Adam show. Joe Thomas as well. He's going to get us set. Which team has the best offensive line? Is it the Lions going into the playoffs? He said it was going to be the Eagles going into the season. Remember last time we had him? That was a whole studio ago. So lots to get into with both of our guests, and lots to get into with super wild card weekend. These are the storylines that I'm like batting around my old head. I gotta say, I'm a little worried about this. Isn't a wild card weekend. I had a whole Jake Moody experience yesterday. I went deep on Jake Moody, what it means. He missed the kicks. Like, gotta get his. I'm going a little crazy about wild card weekend. We should also do a segment, I thought yesterday, like mild, like teams gone mild, instead of. I was trying to do a play for words on a segment. We have to, Eric.
Walk 500 miles.
Something about like mild versus wild, like takes or like stats leading into Super Wild Card Weekend, or splits or storylines that like mean something or don't. Like, is it wild or is it? We've got
man versus miles.
Maybe I can smoke some miles on this. Well, who knows? Okay, I want to start with the team that I do think has a formidable offensive line. I think they can make some noise, and it's the Lions. Everyone is talking about Stafford's return from the vantage point, and it makes sense. He's going back into Detroit, and it's going to be fascinating. But for me, it's about the guy I think who's got the more motivation and the more need to prove himself than the made man Super Bowl champion, and that is Jared Goff in this one. And maybe he doesn't care, but he is a fiery guy. He just is. And, you know, to try to give Lions fans their first home playoff win in 32 years, playing one of the hottest teams in the league, possibly without your star tight end, that is a lot. To do it against the team that said, deuces, that said, we're trading you, against the coach that, I know it wasn't really like this, but bottom line, business, it is. He essentially gave up on you, and against the Detroit legend who you were traded for. This is like another animal stuff. This is like, thank goodness the strike is over and we can make a movie about this kind of stuff. You can say that it adds that much more pressure on Jared Goff, an added weight on his pretty chippy shoulders. But what it really is just the final stepping stone on a path for Jared Goff to completely rewrite and flip the script here. He's already done a ton to change the perception, just leading the Lions to a division title, something that very few people thought that he was capable of when this trade went down. But knocking McVay and Stafford out to get this team one step, 1 week closer to a Super Bowl, that would take this season and his sort of story to another level. It would just launch him to a different stratosphere, okay? He's beaten the level in the video game, and he's advancing. You know, he's Soda Popinski right up to the King Hippo. That's what he's doing in Punch-Out terms, okay? And if you don't think Jared has that killer instinct in him, listen to him after the Lions won on Sunday.
Hey, you all saw that banner out there? We got more of those things to hang now. Let's go to work now. Win on 3, 1, 2, 3, win!
It's just a more compelling storyline. Stafford, the storyline was when he won the Super Bowl. Now it's over. Now, I'm not saying he's playing with house money. It'd be very nice to join a club where he has 2 and all, but especially since he's down so many receivers and they didn't have to. It's like what McVay is doing is insane and amazing. But like Stafford's going to get like a warm hug when he goes into Detroit. I was arguing with Taylor Lewan about this yesterday. He's going to get the royal treatment, as he should, an absolute legend who gave it his all year in, year out. But he's got nothing to prove in front of that crowd. It's all on Jared Goff. It's all on the discarded Goff being able to make some noise for this team that wants it. And they're so ready for it. And it's hard not to root for their side this weekend. Next up, listen, there's already a ton being made of Tyreek's return to Arrowhead. It's a beautiful storyline. Chiefs host the Dolphins. That one is a Saturday night super wild card matchup. But the Chiefs' side is as compelling. Yes, they won the Super Bowl without him last year, although people are crazy and like pretend that didn't happen. They won the Super Bowl without him last year. But that has not stopped said people from bringing up the deal to knock Brett Veach and Casey's management for some of these offensive struggles that they faced this year. This I cannot get behind, understand, or whatever. I would get it if this were like fans from other parts of the country. Like if Dolphins fans are saying this, that's kind of crazy. But like fans that are like thousands of miles away, but I'm seeing Chiefs fans questioning the front. Like Chiefs fans, did you watch the Super Bowl last year? Did you see what happened with the absence? It's nothing against Tyreek Hill, but it is a credit to Veach, to Mahomes, to this team, to Reed, and everybody else, and Eric Bieniemy, who he's the one who's not there this year. Like that, everyone is beating up or taking like hits weirdly, like internally for this, what's going on, and I don't get it. And Chiefs fans, I understand why you're antsy with this offense, but let's not forget that a big part of the reason the Chiefs have the number 2 defense in the league this year is because you traded away Tyreek. What are we? Chiefs fans are some of the smartest fans in the NFL. That's true. I believe that. How are we getting this wrong? First of all, Kansas City got the pick that landed them Trent McDuffie out of that deal. He with L'Jarius Sneed. I mean, our white whale. We keep trying. God, like we have so many missed connections. Me and L'Jarius Sneed trying to get this interview together. I hope it happens. But this is now, you can't tell me this is one of the best cornerback duos in the league right now. And remember this wild fumble return touchdown in Germany? Do you know who that is? On the ones and twos, that's McDuffie. Stripping Tyreek to get it started. That's a party right there. Sign me up. Also, remember the future Hall of Fame D tackle that took over the AFC Championship and the Super Bowl last year? And then he held out and he was in the stands between those two gangsters. Remember that? Yeah, the cap-strapped Chiefs wouldn't have had the $26.8 million to get Chris Jones, number 95, my yoga partner, back in the fold if they hadn't made that trade either. So listen, Tyreek is phenomenal. I'm talking world-beating, generational game. Like, Deshaun was comparing himself to Tyreek, and people were mad about it, saying you shouldn't compare those two. That is, like, Tyreek is in a rarefied airspace, living on his own or in very rare company. But the Chiefs chose to build a more well-rounded team at the expense of some firepower. It was a risk, but one that already helped them and help net them one Super Bowl. So we'll see if this number 2 defense that you wouldn't have had if you didn't say goodbye to Tyreek, if they can do it this time around, okay? And if Mahomes and I said they found their wide receiver, Rashee Rice, who also came out of that trade, by the way, can they get enough going offensively to put this team in a position to win another one? And I got to say, they're happy they're getting the Dolphins. Dolphins are hobbled. They're rooting for the Dolphins all night Sunday night. They're happy they're getting them. I think if you're a Chiefs fan, you're pretty confident you might be going to the AFC Championship game again because you do have the institutional knowledge. You have the experience. And if you look at the Super Bowls in the last years, it's either Brady or Mahomes involved in pretty much all of them. Which one are they not involved? The Rams, Bengals? Super Bowl? That's kind of it, right? Like, it's a pretty safe bet to say, like, the best quarterbacks make it to the game. And Burrow did. Like, if Mahomes, are you the best quarterback? Make it to the game. And I will no longer say that they will not make it after what this looks like. They're seeding their matchup. If they can just pull it together and figure it out, we'll see. Other intriguing storylines. We have Joe Thomas coming on the show. He's coming to us from Munich, Germany. I could not be more jealous, but not even in honor of him, but we're thinking of not even talking about this today because we have Joe on, but we got to get into it. The Browns and Texans, it all kicks it off, okay? It kicks off Super Wildcard Weekend, and it got me thinking about Myles Garrett and this conversation that I had with him when he joined us, and it was early November. And, he's a very curious figure because he's one of the best to ever play. He's one of the scariest guys in the NFL. And I asked him what success looks like for him in Cleveland on this team. Early November, here's what he said.
I mean, success, at the end of the day, is winning it all. If you're not, there's only one winner at the end of the season. Everyone else, we're also Rans, and there's 31 losers and 1 winner. That's how I look at it. As far as, individual accolades, that's all, nice and grand, but, you might get remembered for, winning DPOY 1 year, but, everyone remembers who won the Super Bowl. So I want to be able to hold that and be able to have a parade with, the city of Cleveland, a historic 2023 team who did it all and brought the trophy back to Lake Erie.
They were 5-3 beginning of November, they just told me. I remember this interview, and I get goosebumps watching it now. And I also feel like an idiot watching it now, because back then I was like, okay, well, we got to get you out of Cleveland. Like, I want you to win a Super Bowl. I want that for you. I want you to get playoff experience. I don't know if it's here. I don't know if it's on this team. It's definitely not with this quarterback stuff going on. This was the beginning of November. And the goal is now directly in front of his team. Shut up, me, sitting here. Like, he maybe knew all along. Or, this is Garrett's chance to begin to carve out his own legacy, a legacy that's different. And, I feel like outside of quarterbacks, pass rushers are, I don't feel like it, I know it. They're the most tied to the team's Super Bowl run than any other position. Whether it's Richard Dent, hey, and his I love this footage, NFL record 6 playoff sacks for those 85 Bears. Uncle Rico, let's go. That playoff run started with him getting to our friend Phil Simms 3.5 times. Listen, before Strahan was doing this to Tom Brady in Super Bowl 42. You love to see it. Love you, Brady, but you love to see it. Before this, he was knocking Jeff Garcia on his ass in the wild card round, leading the team with 9 tackles, a sack, a forced fumble, and 3 quarterback hits. And before Aaron Donald was beating stuff up with rubber knives and shirtless, before Super Bowl 56, he was demolishing Kyler Murray on Wild Card Monday. My point here is that all the pass rushers that you think about when you picture the greatest to ever do it, they carved out their legacies with the start of their playoff runs. Myles Garrett starts his journey to joining them with C.J. Stroud on Saturday afternoon in Houston. Myles, we are rooting for you. I want it for you so bad. Cleveland has not been an easy team for me to root for, and I always root for Myles Garrett. We'll be back after this with another reason that I like to root for the Browns, and it is a legend, Joe Thomas, joining us from Germany? Huh? We'll get into it after this. Hammer, you killed that.
That was awesome.
That was a great job.
I'm glad we talked about
awesome.
the Myles Garrett. I think that was the right way to go. I really did get goosebumps on that, listening to him, because I remember him saying it and me being like, oh man, this is just gonna be a sad story.
He's manifesting it. He's making it happen.
He is making it happen. We love to see it. Just stay healthy and all that stuff. Okay, what else? Can we ask Deebo, opponent? Which opponent would he... Making him say something nice about him? No, Hamilton's shutting down all of my Deebo questions today. You don't think so, huh?
No.
I don't think it's the right time.
The right time. What are they doing this week? If you're on the Niners team, what are you doing if you have the bye? It's just treatment?
It's a great question,
Are they kicking
Ben.
it? He played last week, so... What did he play? A third of their snaps?
Yeah, he was out there. It was 20 snaps, 33%. He played a significant amount. Most of those Niner starters did, which was interesting.
Can I ask about Jake Moody?
You're obsessed with this story.
I won't be. It's not a story. It's not a story. It's not a story. I don't want to bring it up truly, even though I don't want to bring it up because I think I'll be blamed if something happens.
That's a good point.
But I do want to say, people have Packers fans doing a lot of bitching about their kicking. Entitled town.
And rightfully so. Yeah.
Thank you, Hammer.
Okay, whatever. All right, we got Joe Thomas coming on. Wait till I tell you guys what Joe Thomas is up to. And it is about the coolest thing ever. Oh, I should tweet, huh? Kat, would you do me a favor? Would you grab my phone? Possibly.
The logo on his shirt is for the team he's coaching, for Joe. Just so you know.
Say it again?
The logo on his shirt is for the Ravens team that he's coaching. You'll see it.
Great.
He's
Great.
wearing it.
I love that.
Yeah.
What is the logo?
It's the Munich Ravens.
I haven't seen the logo.
He's wearing it.
Thanks, Kat. I would just say Joe Thomas, Deebo, and then the link. Shout out to Kat. Mild, wild, like. Well, my friend started a thing called Girls Gone Mild, where it's like we just do yoga and like go to bed at 8.
Some games were painful. We got banged up. But you know what? It's next man up.
Firing, and Joku on it, touchdown!
Let's keep going 1-0 every week, bro. When we play our brand of football, nobody can play with it.
That's what this is all about. You give it your all or you don't.
The Browns are going to the playoffs!
You've got to go 1-0, and that's how you win.
I mean, I'm going to run through a wall. I'm attached to my desk here, but if I wasn't, I would run through a wall right now for my next guest, who's a Cleveland Browns legend and NFL Hall of Famer. We are in the midst of royalty, and he's currently living his best life as a Wisconsin farmer, new resident of Munich, Germany. Should I say Guten Morgen, Joe Thomas?
You can say that, but I haven't been here long enough to understand what you're saying just yet.
Guten
But I appreciate
Morgen.
the effort. Yes.
Yeah, I'm probably saying it really wrong, and I apologize for that. We have to get into this. This is like a Ted Lasso fever dream. You're living in the Midwest, and then you decide to move your family to Munich to help coach the Munich Ravens football team. Why?
Yeah, I really just fell in love with drinking their beer. When I was here 2 years ago, covering the NFL Germany game for NFL Network, when the Seattle Seahawks played Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the passion of these fans in Germany, and with the European League of Football being pretty new in the last few years, there was an opportunity for me to sneak in here as an offensive line coach, bring the family over and give them a crazy adventure. And I figured, just when I was getting comfortable in retirement, Hall of Fame, the kids enjoyed friends in school and everything, it was time to rip them out of their life and give them some adversity so that they have some therapy that I need to pay for later on in life.
How's it going?
So we've been here just over a week. They started school. It's 17 degrees, so it's no different than Wisconsin right now. Okay. So at least the weather is the same, but it's been great. We've had a few practices and meetings thus far, and it's cool because these guys make like 500 euros a week, and they're all working jobs during the day, like the old school NFL, and they're coming at night to these workouts, which are pretty intense, and they're showing passion and drive for football that is just so cool to be around. It reminds me of when I was coaching my son's 7-year-old flag football team this fall, where these kids just have this unadulterated joy for the game of football. And it's really infectious for a guy that, when you're a pro for a long time, you get a little bit jaded and you get a little grumpy, but it takes all that away. Seeing how much these guys love the game, and it gives you that joy all over again, like it's the first time.
I remember, I wasn't in Germany, but I remember seeing your experience of Germany on NFL Network and on social media. And I remember being like, he's just like really either biting into the bit or like you were truly living your best life. It's interesting. But I mean, like talking about the beer, like I can't imagine Mark Quinzel's putting his card down for like the nice stuff. He's buying the cheap stuff over there in Munich.
The good news about Munich, Germany is they take their beer almost as seriously as they do their American football, and there's no cheap beers over here. There's no such thing as a light beer. If you ask for a light beer, they'll give you a Hefeweizen, and that's all you can get.
I would love a Hefeweizen.
Oh, man, let me tell you, that's breakfast beer over here.
Joe, you move your family for beer.
Hey, it makes sense. I'm from Wisconsin. It's the beer state. I know they put Dairyland on their license plate, but really it's about the beer.
Yeah, the math is mathing for Hall of Famer Joe Thomas. We love it, and I'm happy for you. You're wearing the Ravens gear, which I see, the Munich Ravens gear, which is amazing. We're wishing you luck. Do they know what they have in front of them? Like, does it translate? Do they understand what you are?
Well, I feel a lot of pressure because, like, I walked into the first meeting that we had, and these guys were calling me Coach Thomas, and they were acting way too respectful. And I had to tell them at the end of the meeting, I was like, guys, just treat me like a buddy. Like, I'm going to give you everything I got. I feel pressure to give you the ability to reach your full potential because you guys are just as talented as guys that I played with in the NFL. You just haven't had the experience in the coaching. But I feel a lot of pressure to bring that out of you and give you everything that you'd hoped it's been.
Yes.
So let's bring it down a little bit. No more coach talk. Like, let me be your buddy. Let's go drink beer, work hard, and then go win the games on Sunday, and I'm going to be a happy man.
I would love it if you were my coach. That sounds great. That's amazing. We need to get you with Henry Hodgson of NFL International. We need to bring in a nice exhibition or something. We need to bring the Ravens over to Cleveland to play a game, because then I think they'll understand truly what it is in front of them. Because you, my friend, outside of LeBron James, I'm not sure there's an athlete more revered by Clevelanders over the last quarter century than you. I want to ask you, from the time that the Browns returned in 1999 until right now, is this the best Brown squad that you've seen?
Undoubtedly. This is the team that's brought the most momentum into the playoffs. The last two times the Browns have made the playoffs since 99, they kind of squeaked in. This team, they got to rest all their starters in week 18 to get healthy because they'd already locked up their 5th spot and their top wild card spot. And with the #1 defense overall, and with Joe Flacco at the helm right now on offense, they got things humming. And I think when you look at the playoffs, it's always matchup based, right? Like, how do you fit against the other team? But when you bring a defense to the playoffs, especially on the road, that wins against any matchup. And when you have a guy on offense like Joe Flacco, with his connection with Amari Cooper and David Njoku, they have an explosive play threat that I don't think they've really ever had since 99, since they came back, certainly, that makes you feel like it doesn't matter what the score is during the game. All it takes is 1 or 2 plays and you're back in it. And I think that type of belief can galvanize a team and give them belief and hope that gives them extra fight and will in the playoffs, that you're always going to have up and downs in those games. And I think that will be the difference for the Browns, their belief in their ability to overcome any adversity that they see during a game.
You have had a ton of battles against Joe Flacco in your storied Hall of Fame career. You were 2-15 as a team against him, and those Ravens, those pesky Ravens, in 17 games. Joe, how weird is it that you're cheering for him?
It is a little weird. I'm not going to lie. You know, in Cleveland, we've been joking about that since he took over, and he just keeps getting better every single week. And the Ravens, obviously, they used to be the Browns, so there's a lot of hatred there. But it feels like there was always a lot of respect for Joe Flacco. You know, he wasn't like the hated Raven when we were playing against him. Ben Roethlisberger was like the hated quarterback that was the rival. So at least it's not Ben Roethlisberger. I feel like that's kind of a rallying cry right now. You know, you could buy into January Joe Flacco because at least we don't have to cheer for Steelers.
What is working so well for Flacco? Because he's 38 years old. Let's not, like, he's sitting at home for 3/4 of the season waiting for the phone to ring. When you're watching him play this year, what is the single thing you're pointing to why it's working so well?
Well, it's his deep ball, because he's still got the arm that he's always had. And you just saw it in that clip right there. His ability to change the game by throwing it down the field is what they had not had the entire season. Deshaun Watson's best game against the Ravens, he hit some deep balls, and that changes the game, because their defense had been shutting people out nearly the entire year, but they were so close that Myles Garrett really wasn't able to become unleashed in a lot of those games. But when you get in obvious passing situations, that's when obviously Myles goes to town, because then he gets more single blocks. He gets more opportunity to get to the quarterback because they're not just throwing it quick to try to get the ball out of their hands. And I think that's when he really maximizes his value to that defense. And also, like I mentioned, what they're bringing into the playoffs, like when you can hit a deep ball and you can score a touchdown in one play, like Flacco has the ability to do, like it gives everybody on that offense hope that they just got to keep chopping wood, because Flacco's going to throw deep. He's going to throw it over somebody's head, and they're going to make a miraculous play because they've got great weapons at the receiver position and tight end.
But if they win a Super Bowl, I'm worried about your status as the Browns' top Joe.
Well, that's a great point. All right, I'm cheering against the Browns all the playoffs now. No, then I can keep wearing my shirt proudly and say this is a Joe Flacco. I mean,
you're wearing a Ravens shirt. This is bizarro world.
Joe Flacco, Ravens, because he's our guy. He's January Joe Flacco. And I hope that we get to worry about who's the Browns' favorite Joe at the end of the Super Bowl, because nothing would make me happier than the story of Joe Flacco saving our season and winning us the Super Bowl, our first Super Bowl of all time.
Unbelievable. You mentioned Myles Garrett. Let's talk about it. I believe your last year was his first year, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Give me a Myles Garrett rookie year story. What was he made of?
So he was, I was going to say some choice words because that's usually what I was saying when I was going against him. So I'm not sure what the ratings are on this show.
You can say them.
But he would eat lightning and he would shit thunder because the guy was made of a bowling ball of butcher blocks. He was unbelievable. My very first rep against him in live team, we were actually running a screen where on a screen as a tackle, you're supposed to allow your guy to get upfield, but you don't want him to get close to the quarterback. You want to think that he's beating you, but then push him wide. And usually you have no problem with that. Well, here's this rookie, Myles Garrett. And, if you're a vet, you're going against a rookie, you're kind of laughing as it is. But Myles, as soon as the ball is snapped, of course, he beats me off the snap. He takes like 2 steps. He's by me and he's in the quarterback's lap before I think, I don't even know, Kaiser was our quarterback or maybe McCown. I don't know. I had 20 of them. And he couldn't even get the screen off, which is like the cardinal sin. Like if you're on the practice squad, you can block a screen at tackle. I couldn't even block Myles Garrett on that play. And I was very thankful that I was injured for most of the season as far as missing practice. So I didn't have to block him very many times. And I was very thankful because he would have eaten my lunch every single day. He was that good even as a rookie. Even as a rookie.
And now, I was just talking about how I had him on my show in early November. You guys were 5-3, and he was like, I want to be here for life. I want to win a Super Bowl. And I feel bad because I was like, I don't know what's going to happen here, buddy. What would it mean to you as just somebody who's watched him, championed him, you being such a legend of your own, that playoff, success, that experience sort of eluded you for a million reasons that had nothing to do with you. What do you want for Myles Garrett? Like, how cool is this story for him?
Yeah, just like you, I've become really close with Myles, and I'm one of his biggest cheerleaders because you can't help but cheer for this guy. The compassion he has off the field, the passion he plays with on the field, the dominance that he's played with, and he hasn't always gotten the due that he's deserved, in my opinion, for how great he is. Like you talk to other offensive linemen, like, hey, who's the best pass rusher? Who's the best defensive end? The guy gives you the most problems. It's always going to be Myles Garrett. TJ Watt, he's like 1B because I got my guy TJ. He's pretty good too.
Yeah,
but good. Myles he's a beast. And I think playing my rookie season or his rookie season, my last year, and going 0-16 for a young guy, that could totally derail you and derail your career. But he was able to keep on that path and to commit himself to excellence every single day. And so just seeing that growth and feeling like I was a tiny part of it in his rookie year, just trying to help teach him how to break down offensive tackles and see the growth that he made, see the progress in his game with like those little things and how he takes what you do best and he uses it against you as an offensive tackle. I couldn't be happier for somebody that has become a legend in Cleveland and would be able to take his status, his lifetime status as one of the all-time greats in Cleveland sports to the ultimate level when he wins his Super Bowl.
Ooh, I hope it listen, he's got to get past D'Amico and CJ first. So let's talk about that matchup. When you look at this Stefanski-D'Amico chess match here, what stands out to you?
Well, they just played him a few weeks ago, and I think that favors the Browns offense a little bit because they got vets. It starts with their quarterback, Joe Flacco, and anytime you're playing a team so close back-to-back like they are, you're going to have a lot of carryover in the game plan, but you're also going to kind of go to your curveball a little bit more than you would if this was the first time you were playing somebody, right? Because you've already game planned for them. You had no idea you're going to play them again, so it's not like you held anything back. And you were able to evaluate their team and give them your best stuff for your game plan. So this version of their game plan, you're going to have a lot more wrinkles in it. And I think a team that's more experienced is going to be able to more easily go to that curveball, that plan B game plan, because they have a bigger repertoire. Their tool belt's a little bit bigger. And so for the Browns, they can go to that next step much more easily with a guy like Joe Flacco, Amari Cooper, David Njoku, guys like that on their offense than a CJ Stroud who's in his rookie season where they're going to try to be teaching some new concepts this week that he's never seen. And if he gets a wrinkle that they didn't practice, he's not going to know exactly what to do, what checks to make. So I think that's one of the advantages the Browns have now. Yes. CJ Stroud did not play in the last game versus the Browns. So there's a lot to learn for the Browns defense because they are going to get a different quarterback. But I still like my Browns offense. I still like the heat that Joe Flacco is bringing in.
The heat that the 38-year-old Browns quarterback is going to be thrown out there against this Texans defense. Joe, we appreciate you. Congrats on all of your success. And everybody can also go to, you can get Hall of Fame beef packages at sixspringsfarms.com. We got to get that out there. Get your beer, get your beefs, and go and enjoy and root for the Munich Ravens this season. Thanks, Joe.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, Kay.
We'll talk to you. I don't know how to say goodbye, so Morgen Guten. I'm going to pretend that's it. Auf Wiedersehen. That's what Heidi Klum used to say on Project Runway. All right, we're gonna do some awards. We're gonna give some love to that Niners locker room with Deebo Samuel after this. You got a big birthday next week, Deebo. Did you guys talk in his ear? Oh. Just when on the Stroud? Okay. Okay. Okay, okay. Do we want Max Crosby Wednesday of Super Bowl? Richard. Okay. What time? What's the block of our? It's 11 to 2 or 11 to 1 or 10 to? No, Eastern, please. 11 to 1 Eastern. So we're going an hour after. I'm asking you if our show is being extended an hour or preceded an hour. Thank you. 11 to 1 Eastern. Hi, let's do it. Yes, I'll be there. We're doing 2-hour shows. Can you add him to a Wednesday and we'll talk about it later? Live Radio Row with Invisalign. Great.
I'll bring the cigars.
The what?
The cigars.
Yeah. Wish we could book Deebo, but he's going to be busy. Winning himself a Super Bowl! Okay, let's see. I just can't believe this man keeps breaking records. Tell me this, is this the first time somebody's broken a record when they've only had 3 scrimmage touches? Who in the history of the NFL has broken a record with 3 scrimmage touches in any game? Hammy. I bet nobody.
Nobody. That is random.
We played a bunch last week. Ghosts in the studio. Patrick Swayze, Adam Brown. Coyotes, those damn coyotes.
Those damn coyotes.
I'm going to show you a video. It's ridiculous.
You ain't on the team, what? Do you like Deebo? Deebo. Man, I'm big. I'm big. I'm bad. I'm bad. Deebo Samuel to full race. My goodness. I won't quit. Keep on grinding. And he makes the catch. Man, I'm big.
Time to kick up his feet, time to chill, relax, enjoy his birthday. They locked up the 1 seed in the NFC, and you, my friend, you deserve it. A wideout for the Niners, All-Pro. Deebo, you can't stop breaking records. Are you trying to do this every week?
Hey, this was I had told Kyle earlier in the week that I needed like 6 yards to kind of break a record and be the second player in NFL history to do it. And he was like, "Yeah, man, I'll be sure that we get that done." And so. Kind of nice of him for him to call a play for me to get it done.
It's very nice. I'm loving the Kyle and Deebo friendship here. 3 scrimmage touches in last week's game. You break, this is the record, by the way. You passed the 1,000 rush yard mark in your NFL career. You joined Hall of Famer Charlie Taylor as the only 2 players in NFL history to reach that many rushing yards and 4,000 plus receiving yards in just 5 seasons. I'm sure it feels amazing. And now, how amazing is it that you get to rest up a little bit?
Oh, it's amazing. Get to kick your feet up and get to watch all the other teams play this week and see who we end up playing. And kind of get a head start of everybody. We off today and tomorrow and hit the ground running on Thursday and Friday with practice.
Yeah, you played last week to keep things fresh, and now I've learned to get that record, which I love. What'd you make of Sam Darnold out there against a division rival? Size him up.
Man, been through camp and everything with Sam, man. The man can sling it. The man poised in the pocket, and, he can make every throw out there. And just sadly, we just fell short with, the ball the helmet kind of hitting the ball, because I think he was going to go down there and, put the drive together and put us in a position to win the game.
Yeah, it's very nice to have a backup like Sam Darnold out there on that team going into this. You're resting. The season's over, 18 wild weeks. Listen, the Golden Globes were just this week, and I thought we could give away some awards to your teammates in your locker room. So let's get in on the fun. I'm going to give you a category, and you tell me who on your team would win it. Best game day entrances.
What does that mean, like clothes?
Outfit, vibe.
I don't know. I kind of be showing up a little bit late, so I'm gonna take myself. I'm gonna take myself with this.
Are you the last one? Everybody's in their uniforms and you're walking in?
No. I ain't that late. I get here like right on time where they say players supposed to be in the locker room by like 10:25. I'm walking in at 10:25.
10:25. I love it. We're gonna go with you. I thought you'd name yourself with that one. Who's most likely to eventually have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? Who's got Hollywood vibes?
We got 3 of those. We got, oh man. I'm gonna go with Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, and Trent.
Wow, a 3-way tie. 3 stars. We love it. All right, I'll let you do that. I am a little surprised you're picking Brock Purdy for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Why?
He's a superstar.
Just like as a personality? Like, could he be in a movie? Is he a joke teller?
Yeah, for sure. Brock can definitely play in a movie.
I have not. I got to see this. I don't know anything about that. Who's the biggest hype man?
The biggest hype man.
After 18 weeks. Who?
I'm gonna go with Brandon Ayuk with this one.
Brandon Ayuk. Okay, one of the top receivers. You're the other one. I love that. Best advice giver.
Trent Williams.
Worst advice giver.
Juwan Jennings.
Who has the best snacks?
Well, I would say Ronnie Bell, because he's in charge of buying all the receiver snacks and putting them in the room.
Love that. Messiest locker, messiest space.
I seen the messy locker the other day. I'm gonna go with Deebo on this one.
And MVP.
Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, 2-way tie.
2-way tie between Christian McCaffrey and Brock Purdy. We love it. Okay, now let's get into some of this. You've never had the #1 pick. I remember seeing you on the sideline of that Super Bowl in Miami. This was a long time ago. 2019, you were a rookie. How different does it feel? How different do you feel right now going into this playoff situation than you did as a rookie?
I feel like as a team, as a player, I feel like we're better. We've grown. We know what it felt like to be in that position to lose. And kind of getting the #1 seed after the game, and I'm just in the locker room, and I'm just talking to the guys that was here in 2019. I said, bro, this kind of feel exactly the same, besides the fact that, we had to tackle a guy on the edge-yard line. It was kind of like watching somebody else lose and locking up the #1 seed and still going out there and having to win. So it just feel crazy. It just kind of made me reminisce a little bit of, what happened that caused us to lose the game and what we did to win those 2 games to get there. And so, we kind of got to stay above water, man. Got to take it day by day and game by game.
And when you look at the schedule for this weekend, I mean, you're going to be like me. You're going to be like the rest of us, just on your couch maybe watching these games. Is there a game here that you're most looking forward to seeing this weekend?
I'm not going to lie. I feel like all these games are going to be a pretty good game, so I'll definitely be tuned in to all of them.
You're gonna
more focused on our side, because those are the guys that we'll be playing first. For sure. But I think all these games could be a pretty good game.
Yeah, you've played 7 of these teams. You've played 7 of the remaining playoff teams. You've got the Rams, the Eagles, the Bucks, the Cowboys, the Browns, and, of course, the Ravens, who also weren't playing this week. So there's a lot of teams. I wanted to get through them. Let's do wild card in one word. I want to go through these teams and in just one word describe what you think about these squads. Let's start with the 7 seed in the NFC, Packers. What's one word?
Sneaky. Got some very explosive players on their offense.
No, Rams, 6 seed.
a scary team right now. I think they won 6 of the last 7. And fell short from the Ravens on a punt return, but they played a good game with them as well.
Rams are scary. Packers are sneaky. 5-seed Eagles are.
I don't know. It's kind of hard to say because, everybody's 0-0 right now. They started off hot, and I think, every team hit a little slump. It's all about, can you bounce back and get up out of it?
Are you surprised they're here?
Not surprised at all. Who doesn't going to make playoffs?
Number 4 seed Buccaneers.
Physical for sure.
And you played them. We're going to get into that. 3 seed Lions.
Explosive offense.
Cowboys.
Playing really good ball right now.
Steelers.
Very physical and sneaky.
Dolphins.
Really explosive offense for sure.
Browns.
Man, that defense, that defense for real. Joe Flacco balling right now too.
Texans.
Man. Ooh, I'm trying to see how I could describe these boys right here. I say they're a little sneaky and their offense is very explosive as well. They got Bobby Slowick and D'Amico over there. What the world?
Chiefs.
Ashley, what are you doing? Huh?
Chiefs.
I wouldn't consider them sneaky because they always at the top when it's all said and done. So I mean, hey man, you just got to be prepared for anything with those guys.
Last one, Bills.
Thing about the Bills, you never know what you're going to get from them, but they're a really good team.
They can be. I feel like that game Sunday night was wild.
Sure.
So this week you get the lowest seed winner in the divisional. That's who you're looking at. So looking at that Bucs-Eagles game, you played both of those teams this season. When you were watching, you were playing during the Eagles game, but when you heard that your boy A.J. Brown went down against the Giants, what were you thinking?
First thing I did in the locker room after, Kyle talking to the team and bringing the team down, I instantly called him. Mm-hmm. And he probably was doing something. He didn't call me back until I got in the car. But I think he'll be all right. I talked to him. He was in high spirits. AJ is never a down guy or whatever. And so he'll probably call me later on this week and let me know how he's feeling. But I definitely was worried about what had happened.
And now the Bucs, on the other side, they lost to you, and then they turned it around. But when you played them, they were going through it. Not that I'm surprised to see them here. And you said that they're super physical. Was there something that you saw when you played them that makes you not surprised that they're in this?
Nah, for sure. I don't know why, so many people was down on like Baker Mayfield, but the guy can really throw it. He's a very poised quarterback. And you got, Mike Evans out there who is an outstanding wide receiver. And they running back coming along pretty well. And, they got Devin White and the guys and the safety out there just flying around. So I'm really not surprised that they're here right now.
Cowboys, Packers, Jerry World Sunday. Dallas plays better at home. You're talking about quarterbacks giving them love. You've got a quarterback who doesn't get enough love. You just said something nice about Baker Mayfield. Are you a Jordan Love guy?
Man, the man got an arm. The man got. I think he did a good job of watching A-Rod flick their wrist and throw the ball downfield and be accurate for sure. And on the other end, you got Dak and CD, man. CD playing at the top of his game right now, which is, is good for him. And Dak is playing well as well.
I wanted to ask you, the question I had was, are you a CD Lamb guy? But I was too scared to ask it because I never know who you're cool with.
Yeah, I'm cool with CD for sure. He at the top of his game right now. The guy balling.
So who wins that game?
Like I said, it's the playoffs. Like, everybody knows it's one and done. You never know what you get.
Who do you think?
I think Cowboys on this one.
Yeah, at home. That would be, but it would be cool to see if Aaron Jones keeps them off the field, because if Aaron Jones just runs out there, then CD can sit and not be out there. But they're not going to win if they drive the score. If they can't score enough points, I don't think Green Bay can. I want to ask you about Mike McDaniel. You know him well. Those shots of him on the sideline during the Bills game, it was something. Now, you aren't in that building in Miami, but I can guess you can assume how he's feeling after that loss. What do you think the building is like this week?
Oh man, from him being here and you know, with him and Kyle just being so close and knowing, you know, how important the playoffs is right now, I feel like they're going to have a fast and physical practice. And Mike is not tolerating no BS this week. So, I mean, I just, me knowing Mike, hey, man, it's all hands on deck right now.
Speaking of the Packers, last one for you. Have you seen this Jair Alexander crashing a local news reporter stand-up? Have you seen this?
No.
Let's take a look.
Energy right to Texas.
I'm just here to tell you, Pack is back.
You heard it from a fan right here. Pack is back.
Jair's crazy.
I have no comment on that.
I have no comment on that. I figured. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't even know what we're doing. Deebo, birthday. What do you have in your birthday wish list?
I just wanna win game by game and just be at the end of February, well, in the middle of February, holding that trophy up. That's the only birthday wish I got right now.
That's it, and that's all that you need. Get some rest. Enjoy watching the games like the rest of us. Lots of junk food, lots of no exercise. Like that's what the rest of us out there do.
Oh no, we exercising for sure. We get it in.
I know. I just wanted you to say that so Kyle could hear that you were saying that and getting ready. Get some rest. We appreciate you. We'll talk to you down the line, I'm sure, and we're wishing you the best luck.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Deebo. We'll talk to you in a bit. We'll be back after this. We'll get some love for some deserving Week 18 performances. Not everybody breaks records like Deebo every freaking week of the season, but they still deserve some love. We got you covered next. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh, I don't know. We had time. Somebody could hit me with follows.
We could. I know it's for Joe, but is there a world where we do the beef or no beef with Hammer playing it?
Let's see. Where is that?
End of Joe Thomas. It's just storylines. Do you have beef with the statement or no beef with it?
Well, we couldn't do the first one.
Yeah, just it would start with 2.
Bills Mafia, let's go!
Go Texans, baby, let's get it.
That's a wrap, Cincy, big dub. Who they? Steelers Nation, let's go!
See y'all at Arrowhead next week, baby.
Let's go!
You are one hell of a resilient team, man. I'm gonna tell you what.
I know this whole season didn't go the way we wanted it to, bro, but
This team is headed in the right direction, man.
It was the next challenge, and you guys stepped up and did exactly what you needed to do.
I love the way we finished this season. We're going to get a lot of wins this year. A lot of wins this year. This is the first one. Break it down.
But we won the division for the third straight time. Everybody!
Great job, NFC East champions. Let's give it up.
And that's the AFC championship. We're going to play
Gary shaking Matt LaFleur is my favorite thing that happened in Week 18. Time for some attaboys. Let's give some love to some players who went above and beyond, some teams, some fans, whatever. We're going to start with the man who Darius Butler said, okay, this was the biggest snub in the history of the Pro Bowl. Not the history, but this year. Antoine Winfield Jr. Bucks needed a win to say, we're going to take the division title. We're going to play in wildcard weekend in a scoreless game with DJ Chark streaking towards the end zone. Here he comes. Who could it be? Winfield knocks the ball out of his hands, straight out of his hands, slapped him silly just as he tried to cross the goal line. Look at how close this is. Hey, Levante David, teammate, veteran. You want another Super Bowl? You might get one with him.
Attaboy. Good job.
Attaboy. Yeah, Levante didn't seem that excited. You're playing wildcard weekend. Let's go. This game might have gone very differently if Winfield doesn't make this very play, this super, super close ticky-tacky play. He's made stuff like this all year long. He had a sack, by the way, later that knocked Carolina out of field goal range. He pretty much single-handedly led this defense to the shutout on their way to clinching the NFC South, and he's going to be very important in this game on Wild Card weekend. Next up, Deebo's best friend. Who knew? CeeDee Lamb. We don't ever know who Deebo's friends. CeeDee Lamb, okay? Brilliant effort to keep the Cowboys going, let them wrap up the NFC East title. Is anyone playing better football than CeeDee Lamb right now? Not. I don't know. Every playoff team kind of has a superstar wide receiver, but this one's on fire. You heard Deebo say it. He held in 13 grabs for 98 yards, 2 touchdowns. I bet Keenan Allen, fellow wide receiver. Keenan, do you like seeing plays like this? Attaboy.
Attaboy, man. Attago.
He said attago. GG. Good game. And that stat line helped push CD's 2013 season into some pretty incredible territory, finishing the season with a league-leading 135 catches. That's insane. That's 6th all-time. He has 1,749 yards, second to only Tyree, good for 9th all-time. He led all receivers with 14 total touchdowns. All-time season. CD, we love you, and you deserve all the Thank you. Finally. The Bengals finish the season on a high note. They blow out the Browns. The Browns team, granted they're resting for the playoffs, but momentum matters. An ending thing. Did you hear in that bite we had Salah say, this is our first win of many this year? That's a tough look. Because 2024, I guess is what he's saying. First, it's a tough look. But sometimes ending the season on a high note matters. And that's what they did. And it was a great chance to get a look at some of these young players on this roster. And we got to give Yoshi Voss a little love for what he did on Sunday, leading the Bengals, 5 catches. He didn't score just 1, but 2 touchdowns. T. Higgins was sidelined. Coach Lou, do you like seeing this on the sidelines?
Attaboy, attababy.
Attaboy, attababy. I love that. I'll say this. You know the T. Higgins situation's happening. Tyler Boyd set to be a free agent as well, so Yoshi Voss could have a big role on this team next year. And showing out Sunday, not insignificant, because the Bengals are trying. I think they wanted, part of why they rolled that running back Brown out there is to sort of see what he is as they make their decisions going forward. By the way, Joe Burrow, back? Hamilton, what was that said about Joe Burrow, announced he's Gucci? Good? What's happening?
Joe kind of hinted at the fact that there's a good chance T. Higgins is going to be a Bengal again next year at his season wrap-up presser yesterday.
I hope so, because I think the Coyotes are calling me. Look, my phone's ringing in the middle of the show. Let's take a look at this playoff picture. You heard from Deebo. Deebo sizes them up. He basically called every team either physical or sneaky. What did you make of his sort of assessment? I thought my favorite part is when he really perked up about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I thought that was very interesting because he played them, beat them, and then they went on this turnaround. He's not surprised. He called them very physical, and he really had the most to say about that team. It's interesting.
Yeah, it was. He seems to be a big fan of Baker and what Baker's shown this year. Obviously a fan of Mike Evans, too. And, they're interesting because they haven't played their best football over the last couple of weeks. Baker's been kind of banged up. We know the Eagles have been struggling. That's a bigger storyline. But the Bucs, scored 9 points against the Panthers. They lost the week before, so I think Baker's health is going to be something to watch here this week. He had the rib injury, and he was limping around during that game as well. So interested to see kind of how he looks coming out. At least he does have the extra day of rest with them playing on Monday, but I think that's going to be a big factor here.
The only other part that was not surprising, but that was as we look at the playoff, just keep the playoff picture up, guys, thank you, is he really likes that Browns defense, Deebo. You can just tell. And after talking to Joe Thomas about Miles, it seems to be the theme du jour.
Yeah, and I mean, Deebo, obviously, you got to see them up close and personal in that game in Cleveland. That was a rough loss for the Niners.
Because of the kicker.
Yeah, I mean, here we go. Do you want to just get into it?
Is that not the game that did Jake Moody miss the kick in that Cleveland game? Bad conditions, rain, sleet, the whole thing. Just saying.
He did. They don't even play this weekend, and you're losing sleep over this. Go into it.
If what the gods giveth is Ravens Niners, you can't tell me that a matchup issue is the opera singing goat versus an unknown of experience that took over for Robbie Gould, was taken in the 3rd round, but hasn't had to kick a ton because all this team does, it's rich people problems.
Yeah, when they score a lot of touchdowns, you don't have to kick a lot of field goals.
I know, but then if you miss 2 the last week of the season, is that the way you want to go in when the Rams are sneaky and I think I'm a Niners Super Bowl person. I want the Niners to win the Super Bowl. Is that bad?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's bad. There's a lot of reasons to root for them with with what Brock Purdy's doing this year with Deebo, obviously.
The craziest thing I heard today is that Brock Purdy is some sort of John Cena. Is some sort of Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Ryan Gosling, La La Land. Like, who knew that? Who saw that coming?
Yeah, I was expecting all this Kittle stuff. He was all in on Brock Purdy.
Deebo never talks about Kittle.
It's true. Don't, no.
I'm
No.
I don't know. Bye, guys.